The Argentine Congress has passed a law that forbids amnesties or pardons in cases of human rights violations, such as the ones committed by Argentina's last military dictatorship. From Buenos Aires now, our correspondent Laureano Ponce explains.
The Argentine Congress passed into law a new bill that forbids amnesties in cases of crimes against humanity. The bill was approved by the ruling party and the opposition unanimously. It establishes that any amnesty or pardon offered to anyone who had been convicted or investigated for human rights violations would be disregarded.
Maybe since we took this step forward, in which we avoid that any future president or anyone elected democratically can grant immunity to those who have violated human rights, we can now say one more time, never again.
For the human rights movement in Argentina, this new legislation shows a significant difference between now and the neoliberal 1990s, when former President Carlos Menem pardoned all the military that had been accused of human rights violations.
Relatives of the disappeared and human rights organizations fought for years to be able to bring justice to those responsible for the murder of their relatives. Those were years of impunity when someone who was a child of a disappeared people could run into their parents' murderers anywhere.
Horacio Pietragala is not just another member of parliament in regards to human rights legislation. He's the son of two activists of the 1970s left-wing Peronist organization Montoneros, who were kidnapped and killed by security forces between late 1975 and 1976. After that, Pietragala was illegally given for adoption by an army official. Once he became adult, he started having doubts about his story, so he went to the National Commission for the Right to Identity to find out who he really was.
This makes me think about my family, about my grandparents whose children were disappeared and who were looking for me. That's why the human rights organizations support so strongly the policies that Néstor Kirchner and Cristina Fernandez have carried out in this matter.
Pietragala's history shows the importance that elaborating human rights policies together with social movements has in order to build a new society based on the values of memory, truth and justice. Laureano Ponce, Telesur, Buenos Aires.